Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over the Google Pixelbook Go. Now I've had this laptop for about a year and I want to tell you about all the things that I feel like Google really got right with this device and some things that I wish that they would change. My name is Brandon, welcome to Brandon Talks Tech. The Pixelbook Go was introduced in October of 2019 as a follow-up to the Google Pixel Slate, which was a Chrome OS tablet that was, let's say, not ready for prime time. This time Google decided to go for a more traditional clamshell style laptop, and they knocked it out of the park. The design of this laptop is excellent, with a beautiful black magnesium case, magnetic screen latch, and ribbed bottom panel. The black coating can be a bit of a magnet for fingerprints, which is a bit disappointing, but it's not a deal breaker. Google really embraced minimalist design with this computer. There's one USB-C port on each side, and then there's one 3.5mm headphone jack on the left-hand side, and that's it for input-output ports. Very, very minimal. Opening the screen reveals a lighted chiclet-style keyboard with what Google has called hush keys. Now they do live up to their name. These keys are dead silent, and the typing action is super fast. This quickly became my favorite keyboard I've ever used. Some may find that the keys are too shallow, but for me, this keyboard is the bar by which I will measure all laptop keyboards going forward. Besides the keys, the keyboard is very basic. There's a Google Assistant button in the bottom left-hand side, which I don't think I've ever hit on purpose. I don't find Assistant to be especially useful on a laptop. I feel the same way about all Assistant programs like Cortana on Microsoft Windows. It's just not efficient when I can just pull up a search bar and search what I'm looking for. On the topic of search, there's also a search key where the caps lock key should be. Now this is a design choice that Google made when the CR48 prototype Chromebook came out way back in 2011. It's been on every Chrome OS device since. I don't really understand why they decided to replace the caps lock key with a search key, but it's there if you ever want to quickly search for something. Below the keyboard is a large, clickable glass trackpad. I find the trackpad's very smooth and very accurate. It always registers my taps and gestures and is an absolute pleasure to use. The only better trackpad I've ever used is on a MacBook Pro. This thing is very close to the action of a MacBook Pro touchpad. It's incredible. That said, it began discoloring almost immediately after I got it and now has a greasy stain that no amount of cleaning will remove, which is kind of a bummer. To each side of the keyboard, you'll find two top-firing speakers. While the audio quality isn't stellar, these speakers are very good for such a small laptop. They have very good voice reproduction for those listening to podcasts or audiobooks or watching YouTube videos just like this one. The 13.3-inch screen has good colors and excellent viewing angles. Movies and videos look crisp and detailed, while websites and text are clear and easy to read. Now, this is not the best screen on the market, but it does offer a very respectable viewing experience. Google does offer a 4K screen option on the top-tier version of the Pixelbook Go, which comes with a hefty $1,400 price tag, and that's just not reasonable for a Chromebook. Speaking of tiers, this machine comes in multiple build options. Now, my laptop is the base tier with a Core M3 processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and 64 gigs of storage. Now keep in mind that this computer is running Chrome OS, a very lightweight, browser-focused operating system which is designed to run on lower-spec hardware and work seamlessly with cloud storage. After a full year of near-daily use, I've had no issues with storage space or sluggish performance. Now, if you wanted to run some Android games, however, you might want to spring for one of the mid-tier models of this machine. So let's talk about Chrome OS for a minute. Some people will tell you that it's basically just a browser, because, well, that's what it was designed to be originally. I was part of the Chrome OS pilot program way back in 2011 and actually received a CR48 prototype from Google. Back then, it was basically just the Chrome browser running on a really tiny Linux installation. But over the years, more and more functionality has been added to the point that I would call this almost a full-featured operating system for most users. Note that I said most. There are still some things that can't be done in Chrome OS, or at least can't be done well. Also, if you're the kind of person who wants total access under the hood of the operating system to change and modify however you like, this will not be the laptop for you. And if you need to do a lot of video editing or need specialized software such as AutoCAD or QuickBooks, this is not the laptop for you. But if you just need a device for web browsing or basic tasks that just works, is fast, and is always up to date, I can't recommend Chrome OS enough. So by now, I'm sure you've gathered that I am extremely happy with this laptop. I think this is the Chromebook that we've been waiting for. Premium materials and OS appropriate specs at a reasonable price, but it's not without its faults. So let's talk about the things I'm not too psyched about. My biggest complaint with this laptop is the auto brightness function. The laptop always boots up with the brightness turned almost all the way down, and I have to turn it back up. Occasionally during normal use, the screen brightness will dim for no reason, and I can't turn it off. It's not a huge deal, and I've just learned to live with it, but dang is it annoying. Second is no Miracast. Now I know you can cast to a Chromecast, but Chromecast isn't my primary streamer. With a Mac or a PC, I can cast directly to a Roku or to a Fire Stick, but you can't do that with Chrome OS. It can only cast to a Chromecast. Now there are times when I'm watching something on my Chromebook that I'd really like to show my wife or to show to the family and cast it to the TV, and in order to do that, I have to switch sources on the TV, wait for the Chromecast to initialize, and then cast it to the Chromecast, and that's just a humongous extra step when Miracast could have just been supported natively. It's the same issue I have with the Google Pixel phones. You can't cast using Miracast, you can only cast to a Chromecast. Other phones allow you to cast to Miracast, allow you to cast to devices that support Miracast like a Roku or a Fire Stick. Even iPhones will allow you to cast to a Roku through AirPlay, but you still can't cast a Google device to anything that isn't a Google device, and I think that's a major oversight this late in the game. From there, my complaints are just nitpicky. The screen is limited in how far it can go back. I do wish that it would articulate further. I also wish the lighted keyboard would automatically come on when you're in a dim room. Right now, you really have to manually turn the keyboard brightness up. But overall, I would recommend the Google Pixelbook Go to just about anyone. I've had no issues, and it still works just like it came out of the box. The battery is even still holding strong, consistently giving me about 10 hours of use with full screen brightness and way too many tabs open in Chrome. It has become my go-to device for almost everything. From Zoom calls to web browsing, even photo editing in Adobe Lightroom on the Android version of Adobe Lightroom, and it does phenomenally. So if you like this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you'll know when I put out new videos. If you have one of these laptops, let me know what you think about it. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you like, or if I missed something that really should be changed. As always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.